It's review time, everybody. It's game review time. Last week, I finished the 2018 game God of War, and let me tell you, it was pretty epic. Having no prior experience of prior God of War games, I stumbled into this one blindly with only the information that this game was good. And when I played it, it wasn't just good, it was great. So make sure to subscribe to the channel for more mediocre content, and let's jump right in. So, God of War, the game, 2018, follows the story of Kratos, old Kratos, and his son Atreus, not Atreus. People keep saying Atreus, but in the game it's pronounced Atreus, okay? So, his son Atreus, basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to climb to the tallest mountain in all of the realms, but they are stopped along the way when absolutely everything in their path tries to kill them along the way. Well, not exactly everything, but with like most things. So yeah, this game apparently takes less than 30 hours to complete, but it somehow took me like a few months to complete it, maybe less, partially because I wasn't playing it consistently every day, and also the fact that when I played it, I kind of got distracted by stupid things like worshipping fish.
Son! Son! Quick! Gather round the fish.
So basically, I forgot to tell you about the part where I made an entire YouTube series chronicling me playing it. Wowie, that's pretty crazy. Now, normally, with something like this, I would be like, sure, yeah, check out the series I did on the game. But, I would be lying if I didn't say it was cringe.
What you doing there? What are you doing there, though? Bro, get off the ice. What you doing? Get off. Bro, get off. Get off. Bro, we just trying to walk up the mountain. These guys just sleeping in the snow, and then they come out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was something else. Nonetheless, recording parts of me playing it was actually an interesting experience, and I've never done anything quite like that before, so it was a good experience to experience. I got to learn how to put a flash drive into a PS4, along with developing a sort of commentary skill, rudimentary as it might be. Let me know in the comments below if there's any other games that you want me to play. Anyways, I really enjoyed the game God of War, and I strongly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Now, as I said, I have no prior experience of God of War games, so I kind of walked in blindly. Apparently, this game has some comparisons with the movie Logan, where there's both of them. There's an old man who has already had a life of pain, and now he goes on to have an adventure, would you call it, with a kid. Well, this is the sort of story I certainly arrived on the scene late with, because when later in the game, when they first showed the Blades of Chaos, I was pretty confused, as I had no clue this was something from earlier games. God of War fans are probably getting really hyped when Kratos at first unveiled the Blades of Chaos in this game, where I was just like, yeah, okay, he has a couple big machetes, what's going on? But you don't actually get to use the Blades of Chaos until over halfway through the game. You use the Leviathan axe the majority of the game, which is also so much fun to use, and you could just chop through enemies. You can upgrade the axe and your armor and the Blades of Chaos and everything, and Atreus' armor and the bow and stuff in the game. Also with these guys, Brock, and Sindri, who are at this they're dwarves and they help you fix your stuff, and I always call Brock Yondu. But basically, through all this upgrading, by the end of the game, you're completely stacked with this god armor, and your weapons are ever more powerful. But the heart of the game is the plot, not the fighting, although the fighting is good. With the story with Atreus, Kratos' young son, they have a unique relationship together. Like when I first saw Kratos, my impression was that this guy had the lowest baritone voice ever, and that he never smiled. But somehow, even though this is literally his character throughout the entire game, bald man with beard with axe, he's still entertaining through the story and the charisma with the son, and also Mimir. Mimir is this head that you travel with for a large portion of the game, and in my opinion, once you acquire Mimir in the story, the game got a lot better and more entertaining. Another character out of all the characters or monsters that weren't trying to kill you was the World Serpent, which obviously a godly being which should be worshipped along with the sacred fish. The scenes with the World Serpent were so much fun because just look at this guy. He's amazing. The World Serpent is amazing. He's got style, he's got a wacky looking face, and most importantly, he is a giant. But the plot has so many twists and turns, and that keeps the game interesting and entertaining. It was also really fun to record some of the game, although it got boring after a little while, so we stopped. As for the difficulty of the game, a lot of the boss fights were easy, surprisingly, because the bosses had a couple predictable moves sometimes that you could just dodge and dodge. But one of the harder things was when there were multiple enemies swinging at you at once. Sure, you could beat them after some patience and lots of trying, but there were a few fights where the enemies were in big quantities, they had lots of mobility, and it was just difficult. Not to mention some of their attacks were really strong, and you could just die in 2 hits sometimes, so you really had to be strategic and stealthy. So I'm glad some of it was a challenge. As a challenge, it's not a bad thing after all, and it was fun. There was a certain ability where Andreas would throw you healing crystals during the battle, so if you were playing this game, I would strongly recommend equipping that. Also, the graphics are great, which is a given kind of, and you can also tell lots of time and effort went into the game, and it really does pay off, you can tell. Overall, I loved playing God of War, and I hope they make a sequel, and I'm glad I bought and played this game. It has great plot, characters, everything, as I'm sure you've heard. It's also fun to record it along the way. I give God of War a fish out of 10. And by the way, I just started playing The Last of Us for the PS4, so after I finish it, I will make some sort of video, and I will just say which game is better, The Last of Us or God of War. Let me know in the comments below if you played those games and which one's better. Personally, even though I just started The Last of Us and I'm not that much into the story, I think I like God of War better. But, we'll see. We'll see. For now, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace